Welcome to Echoes and Revisions, where timeless stories are reborn through modern eyes. Tonight's story takes us through a haunting journey in a world rebuilding after environmental collapse. One brilliant scientist creates life that can survive the poison we left behind, but maybe at a terrible cost. This is a reimagining of Nathaniel Hawthorne's Rappaccini's daughter in form of Dr. Blake's daughter. A story of love that was both salvation and contamination. Stay until the end because some kinds of purity don't come clean. When Ethan Ward arrived at Blake Biotech, the world outside was barely breathable. The air shimmered with invisible toxins that clung to metal and skin. Humanity had learned to survive behind glass, under filters and domes, while scientists tried to fix what generations had destroyed. Dr. Helen Blake, who was the owner of Blake Biotech, was one of the few still spoken of with reverence. Her name appeared in medical textbooks, her face in policy debates. She was bioengineering plants that could purify the air faster than machines. Ethan had received a position in her facility on the outskirts of New Verona, a city still labeled hazardous. He thought it was a dream until he saw the garden. It was sealed behind transparent walls, an indoor jungle glowing with faint violet light. He often lingered outside it, watching through the glass as a lone young woman moved between the plants. She wore gloves, a respirator slung around her neck, and handled every stem like it might break her heart. When she noticed him watching, she didn't turn away. She smiled, a small, quiet thing, and lifted her hand in greeting. Later, one of the researchers caught him looking again. "That's Dr. Blake's daughter," the man said. "Leela. She doesn't talk to outsiders." Days passed, but Ethan couldn't stay away. His workstation overlooked the garden, and at night the light from it bled through his blinds. The air purifier in his room couldn't erase the faint floral scent that seeped through the vents. Then one evening, as he powered down his console, a message blinked onto his monitor. "If you're going to stare, at least ask what you want to know. Leela." Ethan froze. Then he typed back, "I didn't mean to stare. I'm very curious. What are you growing down there?" A pause. Then her reply appeared. "Things that can live where people can't." They began exchanging messages every night. She spoke about her mother's research, bioadaptive plants that absorbed toxic air and expelled breathable air, but hinted that something in that project had gone wrong. "These plants are more than machines," she wrote. "They learned to live in poison, and so did I." One night her message was short. "If you want to understand, come to the garden at midnight. South Gate. No badge." So he went. The garden door opened with her access card left dangling on the scanner. Inside, the air shimmered with humidity and a strange electric tang. Every leaf pulsed faintly with light. At the center stood Leela, her respirator on her face, her skin almost luminescent under the UV lamps. "You shouldn't be here," she said softly. "Well, you invited me." A small smile. "I thought you'd be curious enough to come." He stepped closer, fascinated. "Your mother's research, this is incredible." "It's more than research," she said. "It's survival. When I was 6, I had a lung disorder. My mother's therapy saved me, but she changed my biology. My blood processes toxins like chlorophyll does sunlight." She looked away. "Now the air that kills others keeps me alive, and I can't leave this garden." Ethan's voice broke the silence. "You mean—" "Yes," she said. "I'm immune to the world, but toxic to it too. Even my breath corrodes filters. The plants and I, we keep each other alive." He should have stepped back. Instead, he whispered, "You don't seem dangerous." She gave a faint laugh. "That's how people start dying." Weeks passed. He found excuses to visit. They spoke for hours about music, the world before the fall, and what it meant to be human in an age that rebuilt humanity molecule by molecule. "Do you hate her for what she did?" he asked once. Leela hesitated. "I used to, but she didn't mean to make me a monster. She wanted me to survive. Maybe love and ambition are the same thing for her." He studied her face through the haze. "You're not a monster." Her lips trembled into a smile. "You shouldn't say things like that, Ethan." When Dr. Blake eventually confronted him, her voice carried no anger, only exhaustion. "You've been speaking with Leela," she said. "I have." "See, she fascinates you?" "That's not new." "What have you done to her?" Ethan demanded. Dr. Blake turned to the observation window where the garden shimmered. "I saved her, and through her I might save us all. The planet is dying, Mr. Ward. I gave her the ability to live where humanity can't. She is proof that adaptation is possible." "You call this living? She's trapped in a greenhouse." "She breathes freely." "You don't. Tell me who's really trapped." Ethan's voice rose. "You didn't save her, you built her." "She's my daughter," Dr. Blake whispered. "That's what makes this unbearable." Ethan couldn't stop thinking about it. The next night, he hacked the restricted system logs. There he found a file labeled Human Reversion Protocol. Inside, incomplete data, failed simulations, and one name attached to every test: Leela Blake. The summary chilled him. "The reversion compound neutralizes mutations at a cellular level. Unstable, potentially fatal, testing suspended." He stared at the vial stored in the cryo. If it could reverse her condition, it could give her back her life. He brought it to her the next night. She met him under the tall vines that pulsed like veins of light. "Leela," he said, holding the vial, "this can cure you. It's dangerous, but it's your chance to live outside." Her face paled. "You went to her lab?" "I had to." She shook her head. "You don't understand. My body is this place. My cells feed these plants. Their toxins feed me. If I change, everything dies." He stepped towards her, desperate. "Then we'll leave together." Her eyes filled. "You can't even touch me, Ethan." But he did. His hand brushed hers before she could move, and agony seared through him. His skin blistered instantly. Leela screamed and pulled away, horrified. "You see," she gasped, "this is what I am." Still on his knees, Ethan rasped, "Then let me die knowing I touched you." She stared at him, trembling. "I won't let you die for me." Before he could stop her, she lifted the vial and drank. She smiled faintly. "Maybe now the world will be safe from me." When Dr. Blake arrived minutes later, she found her daughter collapsed, the plants dimming around her. "Leela!" she cried. "What have you done?" Leela's breath came slow and weak. "You wanted purity, Mother. Maybe you'll find it now." Her body went still. The vines wilted, the air went silent. Dr. Blake fell to her knees, sobbing, while Ethan, barely conscious, watched the light fade from both women's faces. Months later, the lab was demolished. The government called it containment breach. The garden was buried under concrete. The research erased. Ethan returned to the site once. Nothing remained but broken glass and gray dust. He knelt, brushing his finger over the soil, and found a small green sprout pushing through the cracks. He stood in silence, the air still heavy with the faint trace of sweetness he remembered. He tried to feel her presence, to sense the way she once made even poison seem bearable, but there was nothing. Without her, the air felt heavier, thicker, lonelier, yet for the first time it was clean. He whispered her name, and though no voice replied, a soft wind stirred the dust, and for one fleeting moment the world seemed just a little less toxic.